So we are now continuing the road to WrestleMania, making a detour to Comedy Central to deal with the Daily Show, and then coming back. So I'll go with the Daily Show segments right now. I watched Daily Show, and oh man, let's look at the calendar. Like 15 years. I used to love it when I was, in college and younger, but now, it lost its charm over the years. So of course he's retiring. Seth Rollins kind of made a couple of remarks. Jon Stewart, stupid wrestling mark. Decided to play along with it. They do a Daily Show segment, which is actually pretty decent. You could tell that you take someone like Stewart, who knows how to do an interview, put him in there with Seth Rollins, who knows how to react in an interview, and you get some really good sequence. Utterly pointless, but a really good sequence. I think you can use that to build more towards the inevitable implosion between Rollins and Orton. I was like, man, that's pretty good. Barrett took on Ambrose with the concept, who's going to steal my title now? Nice match, good back and forth. I like the way they're doing this. I think they've more or less realized that what they have to do is, the internet fans have kind of crapped on the main event, so they're going to put all their workhorses in a ladder match. So of course, R-Truth steals the title, which he did beautifully on SmackDown, which they showed, and that was an amazing sequence on SmackDown. And then out of nowhere, Harper shows up and steals the belt. Alright. So Ambrose, Barrett, nice match, worked well. You get out of nowhere victory by Ambrose. Great stuff, great stuff. Later on, Bryan takes on Harper. Harper's freaking kills Bryan in this match. Bryan gets the yes like out of nowhere. Title stolen. Ziggler has it. Ziggler has title. Goes up on ladder. And it's like, that's going to be just a ridiculous match. Heyman came out. And I don't know if he was pissed or if he was initially like, my promo was going to be aggravated. Freaking mic doesn't work. And just went off. And it was great. Oh. Joking with my buddy Adam, like, Triple H has to pretty much push the whole match into its day. Sting's not going to show up and Sting's not going to talk. Heyman has to push the main event of WrestleMania, because Lesnar is going to do whatever Lesnar wants to do, because that's what Lesnar does. He makes money at it. And Roman Reigns is like, you want a triple threat match? I'm like, oh God, you can't get through a promo, Reigns. Oh, he's got like one awesome promo. Main event, they power booked Reigns against Rollins, where it only took 6 people to get a cheap victory on Reigns, at which point then Reigns assaulted every single member of the Authority except for Orton and destroyed them all. And the crowd sat on their hands. Uppercats and Natalya took on the Usos and Naomi in a match that had some really great ramifications to it. Usos with the double team Kid tags out to Natalya. Natalya's like, what are you doing? My ankle is bothering me. Roll up victory 1, 2, 3. So this was the night of distracted roll up victories. As you might notice, I've talked about 3. 3 distraction roll up victories. Last week, Miz interrupted Mizdows commercial. Ended up being for Niagara. Yes, they did a male enhancement joke. And it would have been funny like 1 or 2 years ago. Now it was very juvenile, and I was like, very meh. The implosion between Mizdow and Miz will probably actually make it work, but it was very Nikki defended her title against Paige in a match that actually lasted longer than me saying Nikki defended her title against Paige. An actual decent back and forth match. Where it was power move, reverse chin lock. Fight out, power move, reverse chin lock. Paige tap out, run in by Brie. One of the few times the crowd didn't in this room chant CM Punk. Instead they chant AJ Lee, or April Brooks, or AJ Punk. I mean, whatever we want to go with. AJ then hits the ring, helps clear it of the Bellas. So I guess AJ and Paige are now on the same page yet again to feud with the Bellas. Alright. I think the team of AJ and Paige drastically outdo the team of the Bellas. You have Nikki and Nikki's come a long way, but yeah, she's very, very much outclassed in wrestling skill by either AJ or Paige. Done. They talked about the new inductee in the Hall of Fame, Alundra Blaze. Awesome. She really brought women's wrestling to the forefront in like the 80s and 90s. During that time, their division kind of sucked. But they brought lots of foreign talent. So she would take on someone like Bull Nakano. She would take on, essentially some of the better wrestlers from the different areas. And of course they brought in Japanese wrestlers. They brought in wrestlers from around the world because they didn't have a division. So you bring in somebody to have a really great one-off match. She would then face, some random local jobbers, but they did enough that when it was time for a big match, they brought in an opponent that worked, and it was fantastic. She put on some great matches. And of course, when she jumped ship, she still had the title. She trashed the title. When you watch it now, you could tell that she kind of half-heartedly did it. She wasn't super into it. And her run as Medusa in WCW was nowhere near as good as it should have been. Which is sad. Because she was awesome in the AWA as Medusa. Came as Alundra Blaze, was on fire. Unintended. And then transitioned back to WCW, and it was just horrible. She just did not seem to be able to. She came in just white hot, and then they had no idea to do the women's wrestling. They did no idea at all. Like the E currently. John Cena came down and talked about how he should be facing Rusev, but Rusev said no, so it's been Elijah Battle Royal. Stephanie came down and was like, wrestlers don't get to make their own matches, DVD. And then Axel's music hit and the crowd pops, and Axel actually didn't stutter through a promo, a solid promo about Axel Mania. And the crowd began chanting Axel Mania. And it was like, man. Axel in a smart town with the I Was Never Limited from the Royal Rumble gimmick actually kind of gets him over. He, of course, gets destroyed by John Cena. Because John Cena doesn't put up for new talent. Bray Wyatt called The Undertaker. Then lit a casket on fire. So either the match would be a casket match or an Inferno match. Or an Inferno casket match. Where you need to roll your opponent into a casket that's on fire. If it was ECW or CZW, it would probably be that way. Now, CZW would probably be a vibrating casket wrapped in barbed wire, razor wire full of broken glass, and infected AIDS needles that's on fire. It would be a 2 out of 3 falls match. And roll your opponent into it, close it, that counts as 1 fall, then roll them out, then defeat them, roll them into it again. And Triple H brought Booker T into the ring to talk up Sting. The man they call Sting, the vigilante Sting. And fired Booker T. Then rehired Booker T. She was like, man, I got power. This is what I do. I am in control. I will destroy Sting. And I'm like, H in a big man situation is going to bring it. Sting in his only match he's going to have in the East, is going to win, is going to bring it. And it is going to be an amazing match to see. So, still hyped up for WrestleMania a little bit. I currently don't care about the main event at all. But, we're getting there. We're getting there. We've got under 4 weeks before the grandest stage of them all, where people will probably begin to file out in the middle of the main event, unless, of course, Roman Reigns loses. Then Reigns and Ambrose attack Lesnar. Then Rollins goes for a cash in after a triple powerbomb. You get Roman Reigns on the mic, so there's always a plan B. The Shield reunites, defeats Brock Lesnar. So earlier in that night, Ambrose will win the ladder match to become IC champion. Rollins will become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And then, the pay-per-view, after WrestleMania, Roman Reigns will defeat Rusev to become the U.S. champion. Therefore, having all the singles belts held by the three members of the Shield, making their breakup just this giant swerve to have them all become greater single wrestlers. So that way when they reforge together to become the Shield, they are even stronger than they were the first time around. They just destroy everybody. They then become the tag champs and do the Freebird rule, where any two of them can defend the tag belts at any point in time while having all of the singles belts. Then you just bring up a woman, throw a flag jacket on her, and for win the Divas Championship. Do that from like Mania to Mania. I think you'll be happy with that.